Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Clock Sports, man. You know what the fuck going on, man. Hey, listen, man. As the world is going crazy right now about the Kyrie Irving situation and with all the drama that going on in Brooklyn with the with they hire Ime, I'm trying to take a new approach because I realize I make several videos about Brooklyn Nets, and I don't think we spend too much time talking about Milwaukee Bucks. The Milwaukee Bucks right now is, as you know, if you've been living under the rock, or you haven't, or you haven't not been watching them at all, they're about 8-0, either 8 or 9-0. So they've been playing out their mind. Giannis is looking for blood. He want blood, especially the way they lost last season, and he want another championship. I think another championship will really define Giannis in a sense of another championship with another MVP. I would have to say, to me, he passed KD. To me, right now, as we speak right now, I really think he passed KD in all overall in all time. In all time, I mean, if you look at the accolade, he passed KD in my view. But I'm gonna let this video rolling, man, and I'm gonna chime in here and there. All right. Before I even jump in this video, man, if you're new here, you know what to do, man. Like, subscribe, share, because help the channel grow. You know what I'm saying? So let's go.
Through 7 games, the Milwaukee Bucks remain the only undefeated team left standing. Giannis has been playing the best basketball of his career, rightfully earning buzz to win his 3rd MVP award, but the rejuvenation of Brook Lopez and their team defense as a whole has been absolutely incredible, helping them dominate anyone who stands in their way. But just how are they doing it, and how good are they? Defense is the identity of this Milwaukee team, as it has been for the entirety of their years as a contender. So far this season, their defensive rating has been 9.5 points better than the league average, which is the highest mark of any team in NBA.
I think that's what they were missing last year, man. Brook Lopez had an injury. He was coming out from back surgery, so he didn't really contribute as much as should have as much as he could have. I understand now, but this year, thus far, Brook Lopez leading the lead in blocks, and already the season just started. And this man already leading the league in blocks, so that's telling you everything you need to know. And on top of that, he's not even the best defender on that team. Giannis is the best defender on that team, and he played like out of his mind. And it's somehow, some way, you pass Holiday, you got to deal with Lopez or Giannis. So, and he quick. Giannis' quickness is beyond crazy, man. Which is why, to me, they are the scariest team in the Eastern Conference. So, can they win a championship? I think they can. I think they can. And Joe Ingles not even played yet. Chris Middleton have not played yet either. So it's like those two guys right there, they finesse in offense. So you can give Giannis the ball, let him dominate in the paint, and he become an underrated passer. A lot of people are not talking about how well he passing the ball right now. He passing the ball in the high weight, and those other guys like Grayson Allen, Matthew, Drew Holiday, I forgot that dude, number 5. I forgot his name. When I see him, I'll remember his name. They've been shooting the ball very, very proficient and efficient. And you also don't forget about Bobby Portis, who can also defend as well. So this team, I remember watching their first game this season. They play Philly. They are the only team that Philly did not go score over 100 plus points on. Like the game, if you look at the game, they played Philly. That game looked like they were that game. If you ever watch '90s basketball, it was '90s reincarnation basketball. Seriously, that's how crazy that game was. But that Milwaukee team right now, man, they scary. And I was looking at their schedule. They can be. I can see them going over 15-0. I can see that.
History. Their philosophy on that end of the floor is centered around protecting the paint at all costs. And I don't mean running shooters off the line and funneling them into shot blockers, but layering their coverages in a way that prevents opponents from ever getting there. This means you'll rarely find them taking huge risks or playing over aggressively on the perimeter, and because they aren't putting themselves in these unfavorable situations, it's extremely difficult to actually break them down and generate an advantage.
And also the way they playing defense, if they ever down big margin numbers, they can always come back because they'll stop you from scoring, and then they're gonna take the ball on the other hand and score. So this team right here is a dangerous team. They're dangerous. I just see what they did to MB the first game, and what they did. They damn near they make MB scared to go to the basket. They make Embiid scared to go to the basket, man. This team right here, man, they are a problem. The Milwaukee Bucks, man, I can easily see them coming out the East and win a championship. I can see that.
Players understand that in order for the system to work to its fullest potential, they're going to have to concede some decent looks, as long as it means keeping the ball in front. And they do this beautifully by going under screens whenever they can and overplaying the nail to force wider attacks. At this point, they've just about mastered the art of drop coverage, in large part due to Brook Lopez's ability to serve as the anchor. He doesn't have a ton of traditionally athletic traits. He's not very vertically gifted, and certainly not the quickest big on the floor.
He's not, but he can block. He's tall enough to make your shot difficult. You know, he's tall enough to bother you from scoring the ball. So yeah, shout out to Brook Lopez, man. He playing out of his mind right now.
But he's able to defend the paint at a high level due to his masterful positioning. He's seemingly always in the right spot to turn away interior threats and does a phenomenal job at forcing pick and roll ball handlers to live in that mid-range area. Here, Kyrie comes off a screen that essentially leaves him in a one-on-one with Lopez and downhill momentum. But because Brook is fine with giving him that space to pull up, Irving doesn't really have an angle to get around him, picking up his dribble and getting blocked. On this one, notice how as Houston tries to use a two-man game to free up Jalen from his defender, Lopez just sits in the lane. And because he's in position to take away both a drive and pass to the roller, Green has to settle for a tough floater. Later in that same game, Jalen decides to...
And we all know how Jalen Green is a great finisher. Once he's a great dunker, he's a great finisher. So once he blow by you, if you don't have anybody in the middle, you cooked.
Instead, reject the screen and beats his man off the dribble. But again, Brook is so deep that he's able to slide over and keep the ball in front of him, just snatching away this layup attempt. This is a testament to his elite shot blocking. With a 7'6" wingspan, great timing, and an ability to target the ball while remaining vertical, he turns away a great deal of attempts to score at the rim.
Yo, this is that game right here. This game right here, yo, when I say they were on MB grill, they were on MB grill, bro. MB got scared to drive to the basket, scared to even shoot the ball, and they didn't even let him finish to the basket. Everything he got is either from the perimeter, either from the three-point line or 18 feet. And MB is too big to be playing like that. I don't like that style of basketball. You are a big man. just go to the rack and dominate.
And the scariest part is, he might not even be the best rim protector on his team. Well, nice place.
Thanks. Been renting 5 years.
While he's defending the middle and focused on the primary action, on the back line, roaming the court, they've got Giannis, who's a pretty good defensive player himself.
Another 2, 3, 4 blocks a game right there, Giannis. You know, if you beat, this is what I'm saying, anybody that played this team, you're gonna have problems scoring. Because if you beat Lopez, Giannis is gonna be right there waiting for you. And 9 out of 10, he's so athletic, he can block your shots. As we see right now, he made it tough for Ben Simmons to drive to the basket. Watch.
Oh, he's one of the rangiest athletes in NBA history, covering an insane amount of ground through his lengthy strides, agility, and speed, allowing him to help or gap heavily and still recover to the perimeter at will. He's almost like a free safety, relying on his all-time instincts as a helper to recognize the most imminent threat on each possession and rotate to turn it away.
I know a lot of people don't watch the games. All they do is, I heard all the time how Giannis is not a good perimeter defender. All they do is look at the numbers. I watch those games, bro. I watch those games and I see what Giannis is doing on defense alone, man. On defense alone, I don't know anybody right now, any powerful forward right now that playing better defense than Giannis as we speak right now. I don't think so. I can't even name one guy. Because on defense alone, he's killing. Not only he can guard the perimeter, he can guard you from the inside, and he's a good help defender. I mean, I can go on and on.
Here, Philly sets up in a way that leaves Tobias Harris with an entire side of the floor to isolate against the smaller Grayson Allen.
Watch this, because I remember see this play live. And watch where he's at. Y'all see where he's at right there? He's supposed to be guarding PJ Tucker. And watch. Watch how great Giannis play defense, man. That's help defending. Because
Brook positions himself to take away the nail, while Giannis slides down to the weak side block. As soon as Harris starts to get around his man towards the baseline, he seemingly has a free run to the rim. But Giannis has other plans. This time, he's again on the weak side corner, while Philly goes to a pick and roll. Lopez, in that deep drop, takes away Harden's drive and forces a shuffle to the roller, and in almost any other situation, this would be a routine pull-up midi or downhill finish for Embiid. Instead, Giannis saw it coming from a mile away, rotated to cut it off, forcing Joel into a much tougher look. You'll rarely ever see him miss a rotation, with a non-stop motor and constant activity from wherever he's at on the floor. And due to his physical gifts, he makes a ton of high leverage saves. His ability to protect the rim is elite, but not in the sense that he's a mega shot blocker, serving as more of a deterrent, where he positions himself so perfectly that it's either a very difficult shot.
if you don't block your shot, it's gonna make your life difficult. And that's the same thing Lopez is doing in the middle with the centers. If he doesn't block your shot, you're not gonna get a free range or basket on them. And this is why I'm telling y'all, man, this team is dangerous, because what they're gonna do is on the third quarter, that's when Milwaukee will usually turn it really up. When they're playing some serious opponent, the first 2 quarters, Giannis trying to pass the ball to his teammate, get him involved, getting them free shots, clean looks, good looks, and stuff like that. Once the third quarter come, Giannis gonna cook you. Once third and fourth, it's almost like Giannis kind of remind me of what Isaiah Thomas used to do when he was playing for the Pistons. So he would, before Isaiah Thomas was, get his. But he realized that for him to be a champion, for him to be elite on the rank, he had to not only win a championship, not only go to the finals, but win a championship. So what he started doing, he started sharing the rock. He started sharing the rock from first to 2 quarters. Then once mid-third to go to fourth, that's when he take over because he knows that he can get any shot. He can go to the rack anytime he wants to and nobody can stop him. Because Isaiah Thomas was quick. It's hard to keep this. It's hard back then to keep him in front of you. So Giannis kind of remind me the same way. But the only thing is Isaiah Thomas was not playing elite defense like Giannis is, you know. But long story short, short story long, this team right here, on defense alone, they'll get you in. They'll always be in the game. Offensively, once they stop you, Giannis, you're either gonna give Giannis the freeway to the basket or one of those guys like Grayson Allen gonna hit you from the three.
Or a second-guess decision from the offensive player. This is where he's at his best, when he can play off of weaker opposing shooters and freely roam the court as a defensive playmaker. But his vast skill set also offers a level of role versatility that is essential in the modern era. Every night, you're seeing different offensive styles, schemes.
That was one-on-one defense right there. People always talk about how Giannis is not elite in one-on-one defense. That was one-on-one defense right there. You take the ball away from Vooch. So I notice a lot of people don't know what they're talking about because before I even say something, I watch the games, I analyze the game. I don't go by numbers. I don't go by numbers because numbers can fool you. If you really truly think so, man, numbers can really fool you. So I don't go by numbers. I go by the game. I watch the games. I watch how they play, what they do in certain situations. So far, the Milwaukee Bucks, man, if you're fans of hoop, the Milwaukee Bucks have not disappointed offensively or defensively. It's not pretty how Giannis getting it done, but hey, your job as a player, as a basketball player, is to put the ball in the basket. However you got it done, that's all that matters. I always say, for a guy who didn't really understand, if you don't understand the game, all the dribble, and I can rock you here, I can rock you there. It's cute, it's nice. But once the playoff, we saw what happened last season, how the Boston Celtics clamped KD, how they clamped Kyrie. So you can be stopped. We saw it happen last season. But when you play your style of basketball, whatever it is, whether it's bully, when you play bully ball, you can always, there is no defense for that, really. Because Giannis was still getting his. But it was in the playoff, it was his teammate, Game 7, who didn't show, you know? So.
And players, and especially come playoff time, having flexibility in the types of lineups or strategies you can put out there is what separates good.
Once playoffs start, this Milwaukee Bucks gonna be scary because they got Joe Ingles, who have not played yet, who's gonna be a problem. Then you have Chris Middleton, who's gonna be a problem, and you have Drew Holiday, court vision, and he can play D, and he can guard from 1, 2 to 3 really well, extremely well. He can guard 1 to 3 extremely well, meaning the point guard, shooting guard, and small forward. So he can guard all 3 extremely well. So, and he also a great help defense, zone defense, play great zone defense. So this team right here, man, if you're in the Eastern Conference, you do not want to face Milwaukee. Milwaukee gonna be a problem. If Giannis continues to play how he's playing right now, I don't see how you deny him from winning an MVP. And if Giannis get another MVP, a Defensive Player of the Year, and also a title to go with that, the same year, that would be the most crazy and the most that would be the most crazy because as we speak right now, a lot of people don't think Milwaukee Bucks can win a championship, and I think people will be foolish for not putting Milwaukee on the list because every single day this is all you hear: the Nets, the Nets, the Nets, or the Lakers, the Lakers, the Lakers. Two teams I think that overrated. Two teams I think was not going anywhere, and all the time this is all you hear. KD need help. KD need this. KD need that. LeBron need this. LeBron need that. Nobody ever say what Giannis need. Nobody ever come out and say Giannis need this. Giannis need that. Or the Milwaukee Bucks need this. The Milwaukee Bucks need that. Nobody come out and say that. I don't know why, but to me, I think this team gonna be a dangerous team.
Defenses from great ones. This is what makes Giannis so impactful on that end of the floor. He's not amazing on the perimeter, but moves his feet well enough to switch when needed, and if he does get beat, his ability to recover is unmatched, allowing him to play more aggressive coverages. As a man defender, he's a plausible option for most wings and forwards, and is strong enough to offer some resistance against bigger centers. On top of that, he's also developed into a...
Yeah, see that block that he did on Embiid? That was that game, game one. I mean, when I said this game remind me of the 90s, it was the whole 90 vibe all the way, man. It was crazy. It was crazy, man. Because, like, they were denying Embiid, man. James Harden was cooking in that game, but, you know, because of his ability of... he was able to go to the line and knock some free throw down. He was able to get some fouls on him from the 3-point line. So those were the reasons why he had it going. He didn't really drive to the basket like that. I don't remember he dropped to the basket at all as I sit here making this video. I don't remember he dropped to the basket. But every single day, all you hear is LeBron need this. LeBron need that. It's like every year. That's all you hear. And I'm not saying he don't need help, but even when LeBron said himself he was top heavy, they still say he need this, he need that. But nobody ever say what Milwaukee need, or the Bucks, what the Bucks need, what the Phoenix Suns need, what the Golden State Warriors need, what Steph Curry need, what Joel Embiid need, what the Wizard need. Nobody ever come out and say that. But every single day, that's all you hear. The Lakers need shooting. The Lakers need this. The Lakers need that. Man, fuck the Lakers, man. We got to talk. This is basketball season. We got to talk about other team. This year, I'm priority of other team. You know, this video right here I'm showing you guys, and I'm breaking it down and chiming in and doing all of that. This is something that Le Shannon and the rest of the crew, ESPN, Le Shannon, Undisputed, Nick Wright, Colin Cohnherd, all of them niggas should be talking about those teams, but they're not. They're not talking about the Milwaukee Bucks at all. And this is the same thing that happened with Golden State last season. When Golden State was going through the tear last season, they were winning games, and nobody was talking about them. And then you got the Chicago Bulls, who was doing the same thing. They were winning a lot of games, beating a lot of teams. Nobody was talking about them. But I knew the Bulls was a fraud because DeRozan has always turned to DeFrozen in the playoff. So, yeah, the Bulls was a fraud.
Pretty strong drop pick himself, meaning that...
And I'm saying that I'm a big-ass Bulls fan, bro. And I knew we weren't going nowhere because this guy, his ability to get you to the playoff, he's going to get you one. One good game. That's it. Outside of that, he turned to defrozen. At some point, you gotta be realistic, man. In life, you gotta be realistic. You can't keep capping for your boo or your favorite player. You gotta tell it like it is. So for me, when I was watching Chicago Bulls last year, I knew the team was good enough, but also I knew there was a lot of flaws on that team. Number one flaw is DeRozan. His ability to give you a good game one day and then give you 3 or 4 trash games straight in the playoff. I don't know what it is with him in the playoff. He can't get a grip in the playoff.
And when Lopez sits, he can slot down to a primary position and they stick to their principles. Most commonly when he's playing the 5 like this, it's Bobby Portis who comes in as the low man, helping off of corner shooters and keeping up that size. But on rare occasions, when needed, they can deploy some ultra small lineups with Giannis.
Bobby's a good defender too, and a good rebounding. Could knock down the 3 as well. So I'm gonna just let this video cook, man. I feel like I talk too much.
Serving as the lone big. Another reason this works so well is the versatility of Drew Holiday. He's thought of as a perimeter stopper, and rightfully so, moving his feet and hips extremely well with super active hands and navigating screens better than anyone. But he's also got this extremely strong core and huge quads, planting his feet into the ground and turning into a brick wall. He's got a really low center of gravity, rendering him an immovable object, just stonewalling drives to the basket, and when needed, switching onto bigs in the post and legitimately bothering them. He can guard virtually anyone, so what Milwaukee does is sticks him on whoever the opposing team's primary creator of offense is and trusts him completely, whether that means fighting through screens in the pick and roll, or as a chaser, where they can fully commit to that drop, or in isolation, where they can leave him on an island. He's rarely ever not in the primary action, but even when he's not, he finds ways to get involved. He's an awesome helper around the nail, stunting drives or tagging rollers, and gets a fair amount of off-ball steals. Like on this.
Yeah, he did. Holiday was getting some steals already, man. And last season, that was some crazy. In the playoff, man, Holiday was locking DeRozan down, bro. And there was Holiday put so much fear on DeRozan to the point that there were some games that it was Grayson Allen who was guarding DeRozan. DeRozan couldn't even get his stuff off. That's how scared he got DeRozan.
This one, where Embiid isolates from the top of the key, gets Lopez with a fake, and has a seemingly free run to the basket until Drew shoots from the opposite wing to just take it away. He's also outstanding at closing out, knowing how to take away passing angles while making perimeter shots more difficult, and he of course cannot be attacked off the catch. Holiday, Giannis, and Lopez are the driving forces behind this defense, offering a combination of perimeter brilliance, off-ball positioning, and protection of the rim that you can't find in any other trio, making it easy for the rest of the team to slot next to them. The entire Bucks roster has completely bought in, playing with tons of energy and activity, meaning that guys who aren't individual stoppers like Grayson Allen can find a valuable role by just following the team's rotations and staying engaged. Their usage of personnel is phenomenal, bringing the best skills out of every player, like with how they take advantage of Bobby Portis' size and length on the back line. Still, they do have very strong defense.
And as I'm sitting here and watching this video with y'all, man, the only problem I think the Milwaukee Bucks gonna have in their hand is the ability of Coach Bud. I don't really buy in on his coaching style. I think he's not a good coach. I think Giannis saved his job, to be honest with you. If Giannis don't win that championship, that year, he would have got fired. Hell, if they got eliminated in that series, which I don't think he made a lot of he didn't make a lot of rotation. He didn't make a lot of repair some errors that was happening in that series. I honestly think he almost lost his job. So long story short, short story long. Um, Giannis is the reason why Coach Bud's still there, but at the same time, I don't trust his decision, his late decision in the games. I don't trust it 100%. Can can Giannis' greatness outshine Bucks? Coach Bud coaching, I think so. On defense alone, he can't. It can't. He can, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But as far as for me, if I'm gonna have choose a team to win a championship in the Eastern Conference, I have to say the Bucks. The Bucks is right now. They're scary. They after blood, man. They after blood.
Defensive role players on the wings. At age 36, George Hill is still a huge piece because although he lost some foot speed, he remains very lengthy with really strong instincts both on and off the ball and dodges screens at a high level, allowing him to play both at the point of attack and as a chaser. The same applies to Wesley Matthews, who's another solid veteran that does good things in various spots, and Javon Carter, who applies a ton of pressure on the ball.
Yeah, Javon Carter. Yeah, he also Javon Carter. He can shoot the whack. He can shoot the ball really well, and he also give you good defense. So yeah, that's the dude I forgot about his name earlier. Javon Carter. Um, he's been to a lot of different teams, but you need guys like that on your team to win a championship. You need guys like Javon Carter, Wesley Matthew, George Hill, guys like veterans like that can play defense on the perimeter because you need Giannis in the paint. I think one thing that Coach Bud is doing well is he understands that Giannis in the paint give me putting me in a good position to win games and also putting me in a good position to grab rebound, having 14 to 15 rebound and also 3 to 4 blocks. So putting Giannis on the perimeter, he's not. I know he's very fast, he's very agile, he's very athletic, but at the same time, you're not gonna beat everybody every single play. You're not gonna beat everybody every single play. You can put your effort, but that don't mean you're gonna beat them every single play. So I think that's one of the things I think Coach Bud is did right there. Did right. But overall, in a great scheme, I don't trust his coaching. But I feel like Giannis' greatness can outshine his coaching, can put this team where they need to be. This team, they're missing two pieces already, and then they already been 8-0. Can you imagine what they're gonna do once the team start rolling? So far, they already beat two contenders. I know people are gonna jump into the comments and say, well, who they beat? Well, they beat the Nets with Kyrie playing, and they beat Embiid with Harden. Embiid would play, and Maxey played. So far they beat two contenders.
As a feisty, pesty guard defender. To round it all out, they're the best defensive rebounding team in the NBA, not only closing these possessions, but creating the opportunity.
And they also have Ibaka. I know he probably is not at the level that he was back in the day, how he used to play, but he also a guy that can defend and shoot the three as well. So this team is loaded, talent-wise, defender-wise, guys that can grab rebound. Ain't no surprise for me that they're the best rebounding team in the league. I'm not surprised because when you got Lopez, you got Portis, you got Giannis, you got Ibaka. Back in the day, he used to be Ibaka. So
Opportunity to turn them into offense going the other way. Before we get into that though, I want to give a quick shout out to Basketball Index for helping with this analysis and the making of this video. If you're not familiar with the site, they provide tons of statistical measurements, tools, and easily accessible graphics to further guide your understanding of the sport. They offer talent grades on pretty much any aspect you can think of, and through their player profiles tab, I can easily compare them to other players around the league. Using Giannis's defense as an example, on this page I'm presented with various metrics detailing his ability both on the perimeter and on the interior, along with how he stacks up against his peers. This is just one of the many useful tools found on the site that help guide me and many others through their analysis. And by signing up with the code VENUE30, you can get 30% off your first month subscription. I'll leave a link in the description below for anyone interested in signing up. And with that being said, let's take a quick look at Milwaukee's offense. If the ball finds Giannis off of a missed shot or turnover, it's getting pushed right at a recovering defense. For a 7-footer to move as well as he does with legitimate ball handling skills, it's unprecedented, making him
And which is why I don't understand when people say Giannis is not skills. Like how many players do you know can do what he does on offense and defense? I mean, who can Euro step and dunk it on your face? Dunk it in your face. How many players do you know that can do that? That's 7 feet. To me, that's skills right there. Be able to play defense, elite level. That's skills right there. Be able to grab rebound. The bigger the game is, Giannis gonna give you 15 board. That's skills right there to me. So I think people got the skill thing confused. Just because you can dribble the ball a million ways, you can drop to the basket a million ways. Meanwhile, you can even stop the Statue of Liberty from driving to the basket, from dropping 30 on you. Hey, I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed like that. So for me, I have to say what Giannis does on offense is impressive, and what he does on defense is skills. Offense, defense, those are skills to me.
One-man fast break. Not only is he one of the best finishers ever, especially in the open floor like this, he's also a quick decision maker with awesome passing, drawing extra attention and freeing up running teammates. This is also their strategy in the half court, installing a more modern version of the 4-out, 1-in scheme that many championship-level teams constructed around their elite bigs. But instead of playing through the post, they have Giannis controlling the middle of the floor. What they're doing is finding any way to get him downhill where he's virtually unstoppable. Whether that means initiating the possession with a ball screen to get him a slight advantage, letting him isolate and break down his man one-on-one, or serving as a lateral screener himself with lots of quick handoff actions and pick and rolls. One of the reasons they added Drew Holiday was that they needed a true playmaker to unleash Giannis as a devastating roller.
Because Eric Bledsoe and the other point guards they had back then, man, they were atrocious. Eric Bledsoe couldn't even buy shots. He couldn't play D. Man, Eric Bledsoe was horrible. And once they got Holiday, you see the team become a way better team. Way better team. Even though they won more games the year prior with Eric Bledsoe. But a lot of people don't understand why Giannis lose to Toronto. A lot of people blame Giannis, but if you really go back and watch the series, or you break down the series play by play, you'll realize that Eric Bledsoe was horrible. Chris Middleton was horrible. Like, there was no shooting. It was all Giannis, and then Giannis got 4 guys, trapped them every single play. 4 guys trapped him. So how in the world do you expect him to win? When Eric Bledsoe is wide open, he's missing threes. The other guys is wide open, they're missing shots. Man, the teammates that he had, man, they couldn't buy a basket. And on top of that, Toronto played great team defense too that year. Great team defense.
Someone who can handle the ball, make the right decisions, and pull up for jumpers when they're there. Giannis dives hard to get momentum moving towards the basket, and if he catches the ball anywhere near the vicinity of the paint, good luck stopping it. It's also a huge above-the-rim lob threat with a massive catch radius, making for some insane roll gravity that allows him to break defenses wide open without ever touching the ball. This is why Milwaukee constantly surrounds him with players who can make their open three-pointers and play off the catch, getting so many open looks just off of that sheer interior presence. And when variance is working in their favor, they just can't.
And this is why I think if last season during the playoff, if they had played Golden State, I think they would have give Golden State problems. If they had played Golden State in the playoff, I think that series would have go 7, because you got to worry about Giannis, you got to worry about the shooters, and you got to worry about the size. You know, because some of those games I see Curry had over 6-7 rebound. That was not gonna fly playing the Bucks. I think the Bucks would have been a greater opponent for them than the Celtics.
Stopped.
Amy Schneider, Natamodio, Mateo Roach for the first time ever.
He's also a nightmare in the short roll, putting the ball down and just obliterating everyone who stands in his way, while reading the defense well enough to consistently punish extra help in these spots. This holds true with his on-ball game as a whole, with that imposing of a physical profile and ability to handle the ball. When paired with his fluidity and masterful use of strides to carve out angles, he can get to the rim seemingly whenever he wants, where his finishing may just be the most lethal form of scoring in basketball, collapsing defenses with a sense of urgency and kicking the ball out to shooters. And while many have critiqued him as a one-trick pony over the years, he's added a ton of new mid-range counters to his game, so much so that he's also become capable of initiating from the elbow or on the block. Without Middleton in the lineup, they're essentially getting by off of this Giannis ball, while sprinkling in utilization of the skills Drew, Lopez, Portis, and company provide.
And that's also telling me how determined Giannis is too, because like a lot of people was like think that this especially last year when Middleton went down, people thought the series against the Bulls was over. I knew the series wasn't over because I was like, I don't trust DeRozan. That's number one. And number two, who's gonna stop Giannis? Who's gonna stop Giannis? And as we see right now, man, and without Middleton, they still going crazy. So this play right here, that's bad matchup. Bad matchup. Because this man cannot stop Giannis. Simmons can stop Giannis.
This season, their offense has hovered around the league average, throwing out these defensively slanted units with spot-up shooters that they know their two-time MVP can raise to quality heights, which he's been able to do through his absurdly efficient volume scoring and the amount of attention he draws. Whether this is a model that can hold up deep into the playoffs, only time will tell. But by that time, both Middleton and Connaughton should be back in the lineup, and what they're doing clearly works for the time being, riding their near-flawless team defense to an undefeated record, shutting down whoever stands in their way, and dominating the league. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to drop a like, subscribe.
Man, if you enjoy, man, this video, man, you know what to do, man. Like, subscribe, share, man. This is where we end. You know what I'm saying? Like I was telling you guys before I go, this team right here, a lot of people not covering them as much as they should, but this team right here gonna be a problem. They're gonna be a problem. All right, peace.